All right. Yeah. Serious group. I know, right? All right. Well, good morning. On behalf of the Orange Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau, welcome to Eggs and Issues. It's our April installment. Where is the time going? I'm Berkenda, and I'm so happy to see all of your faces today. As you guys know, this is an open format. Our guest is here for you to ask questions. I have some questions planned, as most of you know, but he's here for you. So with that, I would like to officially welcome Dr. Ken Miller.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Miller, before we start into any questions, I would love to just read a little bit about you. I have your bio here, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Ken Miller has been an educator for 31 years, the last 18 years proudly serving in the Orange Unified School District. He has served as assistant principal, instruction athletics at El Medina High School, principal at Cerro Villa Middle School, administrative director, student and community services, principal, Villa Park High School, acting executive director, secondary schools, and now administrative director, community relations, and school correctedness. Prior to his service as an administrator, he was a social science teacher, adult school teacher, and a football coach. In addition, Dr. Miller is currently in his 23rd year as a college professor and also serves twice a year as the chair of the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. Dr. Miller and his wife, Jennifer's here, everybody. She's right back there, have been married for 30 years and have raised two beautiful children who thrive as a result of their K through 12 education in Orange Unified School District. Dr. Miller, welcome to Eggs and Issues.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I also have to love it. His daughter snuck in as well today, so welcome, Caitlin. I feel like it's going to be a beautiful day at some point, but right now it's kind of nice in here. It's nice and cool, so hopefully we can get through before the sun comes out and gives us some heat in here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, you have quite the title right now.
Yes.
So before we dive into some of the things that you cover, I just want to, if you could fill everybody in about just, I feel like maybe not everyone here has children. And so on behalf of that, so OUSD, that's 26,000 children, kids.
Yes.
How many schools is that? Can you give us a little bit about, the organization?
So we have about 40 campuses. We have 4 comprehensive high schools. We have a continuation high school, Richland. We have 3 middle schools. We do have 2 charters. And then McPherson is a K-8, and then we have 26 other elementary schools in our district. So it's a vibrant, well-rounded and just a great place to be. We do have our Parkside campus, which covers everything from your ambulatory students all the way through your adult transition students up to age 22. And then we also have our Edge Academy, and our Edge Academy services children online. And so we really have, that's a great thing for us as far as, an alternative pathway, basically an alternative education for our students. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah,
it's quite the organization.
Yes, it is.
So diving back into what you're focusing on.
Yes.
So I have just some things on your district marketing and community partnerships.
Yes.
I feel like we just received an award. So if you could tell us first about the community partnership
That's
award.
right. Yes. So the community partnership, what we do as part of our strategic plan, which is the Orange Edge 2.0, we build great partnerships with our all of our university partners, but also our community organizations and our Orange Chamber of Commerce. Don't tell anybody, number one. Just appreciate the support every year. And so Chamber of Commerce was awarded our April award with our Board of Education this last April 16th, which was last Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And so we had the opportunity to present at City Hall on February 21st. And then we also had the great opportunity again to work with Rebecca and Rick Martinez with our Leadership Orange Group. And our Leadership Orange Group is essential for us. And we host that facet of it, which I am a 2015 graduate of Leadership Orange. But our facet is our education day. So, and we just have a great time. We design, we work together almost all year on it, especially design that. And so it's just a thrill to be able to, cover some aspects, and I say just some aspects of our district, but it's an all-day program, which is great. So
that's exciting. Well, thank you for honoring us. We do
absolutely
appreciate
thank you.
that. So one of the things you mentioned to me is your attract and retain strategy, and how does that shape the way that you market to both current and prospective families?
So long story short, because I could talk about this for hours.
Go ahead.
I always say that the attract and retain program is the following. Our hardworking staff, our teachers, our principals, they're the ones that write the song, and I'm able to perform it. I'm able to go out and talk about it. And it just is, it's one of those things where I always say it's something that you know is going to come out great, but there's going to be some improvisation because there's so many things that we do as an organization that service all children. We have something for you. It's basically mi casa su casa, and that's a philosophy I've always had as an educator, and our district really embraces that. And so for attract and retain, we have something for you. And so we do, I have our, shameless plug here, but I do have, our showcases here. So, and these dates have passed, but what happens is it has a QR link on it. It has a live QR. And what that does is it links to me on the other side of that. And it's kind of funny talking to people at fairs because it's like, yeah, when you fill that out, you're talking to the person that is, going to address that. But then what happens is I connect them with the principals, assistant principals and whatnot, where they'll give them a school tour. And we found through the research that once we have the students like that will go to our schools, attend the showcases have about probably 8,000 plus cumulative attendance every year. We get at least a couple thousand per showcase. And so once you get them on campus and they see all these great things and talk to our people, that's the thing, is they talk to our staff. Our staff are the people that put the work in and do the magical things. That's when they get enrolled. And so right now with that interest form right now, we're in the mid 400s right now. That's 450 plus families that have showed interest just this year. And so you have multi-children families. And so it's over 500 children that are showing interest in our district. And that's just on the interest form. So that's not even taking into consideration the folks that have already enrolled in our schools. So it's just a great thing. I loved it. I love to talk about our district. I never let an opportunity, go away. Yesterday I came over here and I put them over here. I know you can't see them on camera, but I already marketed here, and so, you got to go out and do the work. And that's the thing, is that I like to celebrate our folks because we do the work. We do the great work, and we'll never, as I say, our North Point, there's a thing in education called North Point. Our North Point is our kids. And that's what we do. So, we have a couple people here from our district today. We have Hannah and Rosie here from our district in communications. And so, actually, I'm going to do another plug. Rosie is the designer of this. She designs these things. She designs our career pathways, right? Here they are. And then, so we have these now in our community. The last thing I'll say about it is there's a key with our acrylic folders. I order a series of just a bunch of acrylic folders. But what happens is I go out and I partner with community businesses like, hey, I'm Ken. Usually I have my badge on, but I go, hey, I'm Ken Miller, and I work for Orange Unified. And we have a lot of great things. We want to be a community partner with you. So would you hold these? And we start this probably October, November, right? We start early in the year. Mm-hmm. Oh, sure, absolutely. So we get through that phase of this, and then the next thing that we want to market is, for example, like our career pathways. So this is over, and then what we do is we replace it with this. But see, there's still a live QR link, and so we're still staying in communication with whoever is showing interest. And so that's kind of the key with this. So
if there was a business who perhaps didn't, so we have a lot of businesses represented here today. Yeah. If there was a business that wanted to have that acrylic but doesn't have it already, how can they get that?
So just contact me, and I'm happy to come out. I will drive to you. I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
And we do keep track of the businesses that we do partner with. So. Yeah.
And as far as like the target market, yes, it's definitely somebody with a school-aged child. I'm guessing, probably pre-K through 12.
Correct.
But are you looking for people who maybe are in private organizations? Or are you looking? Guess who's the market?
So what we do is we want schools that are private schools within our district. We want their kids to come to the public schools too. I mean, we know that they do great things and they do what they do, but we also do what we do and we do great things. And so that's part of our audience, is that we try to attract and retain those children. And then also there are some things that we do. For example, we market at the Tustin district a couple times a year, the parenting fair. I will say that last month, that was probably the busiest I've ever been. And so we did, with the connections that we made, we did get a lot of families that did tour our schools from that. I did see families. I did talk to families after they toured. And then the other thing that we do is we do some things in some of the other districts, some of our marketing. And, we take children on inter-district transfer.
Got it.
So we're pretty much always open. Yeah, you do have a set of open enrollment period per ed code. But then, like I said, it's a me casa su casa thing where we want to share that love, that we have, for doing all these great things for kids. We're preparing kids for what's next in their life, whether it's college readiness, career readiness. That's our focus.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
And as far as your territories, I know it's Orange, Villa Park, Anaheim, parts of Anaheim, and
Garden Grove,
okay.
and Santa Ana.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite
So did I leave out Villa Park? I hope not.
No, I said Villa Park.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. I want to make sure.
I got us.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. Okay. So as far as, let's move into some of the athletics and events. I know you were
Yes.
a football coach, which is really
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
Do you miss that?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
Fun.
Yeah. So what are your key responsibilities as the district athletic director, and how do you support high school sports across the district?
So a big thing, what we do is a big function is Fred Kelly Stadium. As I like to say, it's the pride of Orange Unified. And, it's a beautiful facility. The district just did such a great job. We've had Fred Kelly, I think, since about 1969 or 1970. And so, we did remodel that stadium, basically tore it down and built it back. And it's just a gorgeous facility. And we do all of our varsity football games there. We have girls flag football, which that's a newer CIF sport. And we like to utilize that for marketing. That is a big hub of what we do, though. And that's a big function of our athletics. And so we also have our soccer there. We have lacrosse there. Like I said, it's just an amazing facility. What that's led into is a cooperation and partnership with CIF. And so we have 5 different championship sports at Fred Kelly now. So we have girls flag football. We actually were able to host the inaugural CIF championships last November, 5 divisions. And we have boys and girls soccer, and then we have boys and girls lacrosse. So
what has that partnership meant? Like, does that bring any additional funds into the district, or more notoriety, or marketing dollars, or how does that work?
I think it brings a number of things. I think it brings the notoriety.
Okay.
It is. We do utilize it for marketing. We definitely do, because many of these events are live streamed, through CIF broadcast agreements and whatnot. National Federation of High Schools will broadcast these things. The thing is that when you're marketing and when they see these things, they not only see the facility, but they hear it and it's archived. And what I like to do because I announce some of the sports actually, is I do market throughout. I put some plugs in there and whatnot about, our facility.
Right.
And just, I just try to thank all of our leadership too, and our board and everybody that's put all these great things together, that creates this partnership. I mean, some of the other aspects of, with the athletic directors is scheduling, because there's so many different sports at Fred Kelly. And then, the other support is just the equipment and whatnot. Some of the health and safety factor with helmets, both in football and lacrosse, shoulder pads. There's just a lot of different facets with that. So, but it's just a great place to be able to market. When you're getting thousands of people in and they're seeing this and they're able to attend. I mean, that's the high school aspect of it.
Right.
And then we have the middle school track meet, which is coming up. And then we have the Carnival of Champions coming up. And then we also have our Olympiad games coming up. Everybody that's able to go to this stadium and this great place as a community, and that's the biggest thing, is meet as a community. Right. Everybody's like, wow. And then your TK through 8 kids are able to say, wow, I'm going to be able to compete here someday in this great stadium, and I'll be able to do it more than once. Right. And so that's part of that attract and retain.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as far as events, is there a specific place people can find out about events that are happening just at Fred Kelly in case they,
We actually do. We have on our website, you go to facilities development,
Okay.
and there's a tab on the left side that's Fred Kelly Stadium, and you're able to get the calendar actually right there.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
How many of you have been to Fred Kelly Stadium? Has anyone not been? Everyone's been for the most part? Okay.
So,
Who here has somebody in OUSD, a child? Anyone? Okay. Few people. That's
great.
exciting
That's
stuff.
great.
Okay, so as far as educational leadership, 'cause I know a huge part of what you do is this education, leadership, things like that. What is your role in supporting schools through the WASC accreditation process, and how does your experience as a chairperson inform that?
So, interesting story is that I've done this throughout my career. I'm mostly a secondary person.
Okay.
And so, your goal as a secondary school, of course, is to get that 6-year accreditation, right? Because that's how the accreditation process works.
Right.
So it's the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. Colleges, of course, engage in this process too. But what we've done in Orange Unified is we not only have our high schools fully accredited, but we also have our middle schools accredited, which we think that's a big part of it. And a interesting story with that is that about 12 years ago, Orange Unified was approached by, at that time, it was a gentleman, his name is Dr. Fred Van Leuven, and he was the president of WASC at the time. And he said, how do you guys think about getting your middle schools accredited? We're like, oh, interesting. So what I did is I'm like the person that I want to try that. And so Sarah Villa Middle School was the first public school, 7-8 in Orange County to be WASC accredited. So they were WASC accredited in 2017. And that accreditation continues. In fact, they just had their WASC visit about 3 weeks ago, I believe it was, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And so, so what I do is I take people through that process and just, really talk about, the self-study process where they have to examine their school fully. And then after that, you have a validation visit. Mm-hmm. And so kind of prepare them for that and whatnot. And just, it's a guidance and support factor. Talking with the principals, and then, principals, of course, meet with their ILT, which is their instructional leadership team, and they talk about the training aspect of that. But it's very important for your schools to be accredited, and it's probably the finest form of school improvement that we have currently.
Okay.
And the last thing I'll say is what's interesting about that is that every time I go and I'm a chair, every year I learn something different. And I'm able to bring things back to the district. I just actually was a chair a couple weeks ago at a school in Riverside County. Very interesting process. Bigger school, almost 3,000 kids. And so It's really interesting to take things that they have, because we write a report as a visiting team, but you learn all these different things and you take what's great and you bring it back.
Are you able to share maybe something you brought back this time? I think we messaged, while you were there.
Yeah, just seeing the way schools run their professional learning communities and the professional learning teams, because basically you have to know basically where you're performing at, because that kind of, you start with your assessment. That's kind of your feedback loop. And that leads to your informed instruction for kiddos. And that's called what's best, the first best instruction. And then that leads to that process where you're able to fine tune it. And then, you take your data and then you're able to, teach appropriately to address the students' needs, what they need. And then after that, the students that are learning, that's awesome. You continue to enrich. And then the kiddos that, might need some growth with that process, that's where your interventions come in. But you're able to design those interventions to tailor make what every individual student needs for success. And you just keep working with them. And it's just, it's just a complete process. What's interesting about WASC too is that next year there's going to be a different process with WASC, and so I'm gonna.
You can speak to that.
I'm gonna be engaging in that process. Actually, next week we're gonna be meeting as a team through WASC, and we're gonna be learning this new process. And it's very hyper focused on not only the formation of professional learning teams, but it's also about student well-being.
Okay.
About your multi-tiered strategies, for a multi-tiered intervention to try to help kiddos out, whatever their needs may be,
right.
Whether it be instruction, whether it be mental health, whether it be, they've got to improve, like the standardized scores and things like that. So there's a whole process that's being refined with WAS that I'm really interested. I've seen kind of a skeleton model of it, but I'm really interested in seeing it. And I really want to help our educators adapt to that process, when their time, comes to get accredited again. So,
right. One thing we didn't talk about, and I don't think we said it in the very beginning, is I remember asking you how many students you have. How many educators approximately do you have throughout the district, if you know? You had to guess. I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah. But I would say we have at least 2,000, if not more.
That's a lot of,
yes. Yeah, because some of your high schools have, over, 110, 120 teachers.
Right.
Plus you have all our great classified folks.
Right.
You have your, other support, you have your school psychs, you have your school counselors. So, I mean, those are small cities, so. So.
Does anyone have any questions? I know our guest is here for you, not just for me to ask all the questions. So I'd love to take some questions. Anybody have anything? I see one.
What has the impact of Measure S been on our high school campuses?
So we talked about wins. I mean, what a win. So Measure S 2016 was our bond. And just, facilities wise, it's just our elevations and the other mechanisms and other functioning aspects of our high schools have just completely changed for the better. I mean, you drive by Canyon, but even closer here, Orange High School, what a beautiful, it looks like a college. And so the benefits of that have just been unbelievable. And I always said when I was at Villa Park, the things that we are doing now are already unbelievable by our teachers and our classified staff and our counselors, but just think what we could do with new facilities. And now they're here, it's happened. And just the things that are happening are magical. It really is. So, but it's been life changing is what it's been. It's just been great. So, yeah.
Okay. Elisa.
Yeah, so a little birdie told me you have a great event coming up called the Olympiad Games.
Yes.
And it feels like that's a really great opportunity for our local businesses and organizations to get involved. How can we support you in that effort?
So we would love volunteers. We want to thank Chapman University. We want to thank some of our other sponsors coming up. We want to thank the Chamber as well. But just the volunteer. And so what the Olympiad Games is basically prior to the pandemic, we had a Special Olympics basically. And so what we've done is we basically created our own track and field meet for those kiddos. And what we literally have is we have hundreds and thousands of our own students that, the hundreds is the students participating, but we have hundreds and thousands of schools that come in on buses and whatnot. And they sit in the stands and they cheer. And then there's also other people on the field that are like, come on, you can do it. And so just cheering on. Hundreds of staff are going to be involved. We try to design it right before Memorial Day because it doesn't conflict with state testing. It doesn't conflict with the advanced placement tests that are happening in May. And so it's just going to be a great event. I'm hearing too, rumor has it that Miss Orange and the Duke, yes, we want to have the Duke there. And so,
we know the Duke.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to that. And this is going to be our second annual. Last year was just magical. For those kiddos and their families, it's just such a great memory. And so just the look on their faces and whatnot is just, it's just like you remember that for the rest of your life. So you want to give that opportunity.
What's the date? Do we have a date for that?
We have Friday, May 23rd.
May 23rd. And if somebody wanted to volunteer, would they contact you or is there a special?
They contact me.
Okay.
Yes.
So please reach out, volunteer.
Kenneth.miller@orangeusd.org. So yes.
Awesome. Thank you. I see a question in the very back.
Yes.
So I had a question related to the Olympics coming in 3 years' time now. And that's a good opportunity to make the students aware of providing volunteer services, plus also promoting our own sports and everything else. I know in LA Unified they are doing quite a bit of work to have their students participate in this. And what kind of activities are NPOs going on here towards that market?
I'll be honest with you. I haven't looked into that opportunity for our district for the local Olympics in 28, but that's something that I'd like to pursue. I don't know for a fact, but probably my best option, I think, in getting us involved would be probably our partnership with CIF, because I know CIF works very closely. The southern section does. We're the southern section. And so they work very closely with CIF LA, the LA section. And so I know there's some partnerships and whatnot that I'm sure that we're going to get engaged with. And that's something I'm going to pursue for us.
That would be exciting.
Yeah.
I see. I think that's Kenya.
Dr. Miller, I just wanted to congratulate you on the WASP accreditation for the middle school. That's a big
Thank you.
task,
Thank you.
and it really brings a lot of credibility to our schools. So
Thank you.
thank you. And
Thank you.
I hope that more can become accredited. But can you explain to everyone what the process is in the accreditation? Just
Sure.
because it takes so many man hours
Yes.
on both sides for the school and then the accrediting committee.
Yes.
And what's the difference between, I know, but I think that it's important for other folks to know what exactly WASC means WASC accreditation means to education.
So, and thank you for that. So the WASP process again, you want to be accredited as an institution, because what you are showing the ability to do is you are showing the ability. We are addressing the needs of all of our students, both in achievement and well-being. And then the other thing too is that what the school needs to demonstrate is the school has the capacity, and that's the key term. They have the capacity to do it. Those are basically the two questions that you ask at the end before the visiting committee ponders, and they ponder a recommendation that they send to WASP. They are not the final decision maker, the validation committee, but they have a huge influence because they not only have read the self-study, but they have seen it, hopefully, validated in person for 4 days. That was the other thing they're going to change, is they're going to go to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday now instead of the Sunday. But a little bit about it, excuse me. So once you're accredited, what happens, and fingers and toes crossed, you get accredited. So that process, though, it's not, oh, here's our self-study, it's on a shelf now. No, it's immediate work, because part of that answering those two questions is you have an action plan. So you need to immediately be activating that action plan. And so as a staff, as a leader, as a principal, and then also with your assistant principals, instructional leadership, and all of your teachers and all of your staff, because everybody writes this document and everybody participates. It's 100%. And so what happens is you immediately activate that. And then you do a diagnosis, like, where are we at? Here's what we're activating or we're not activating. And it's very normal to not be activating some of it, because you just got to continue to work on it, because it's a growth model. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is that you examine it every year. When you have a 6-year accreditation, you get to year 3, which you have to start preparing now a mid-cycle. So you have to analyze your action plan where you left it when you were accredited, and then what progress did we make on that. So you have a mid-cycle, usually either a report, or complementing with that is either a 1 or 2 day visit. I personally, as a principal, I love the visits too. Again, like, come on over, let's see what we're doing. It's great, because I want to demonstrate the progress that my great staff and my great people have made, right? And so you show that off. Once you get that part validated, then you would continue toward what you call your self-study. Usually in the year 5, you begin writing your self-study. You meet in your instructional leadership, or your what's called your focus groups. And so they write each section of the WASC report, either the chapter 1, which is like your demographics, how you've done, what's your progress since the last time. Your chapter 2 is a little more of that information. And then you break it down in 5 parts after that. So you basically, for lack of a better term, you have your governance, your learning, your curriculum. No, sorry, I got curriculum B, learning C, assessment is D, and then E is your safety and well-being. And then you write those reports, and then you turn it in about 3 months before the visit, and then you have your validation visit. So it's a constant cycle of improvement. And so your schools really should be designed that way, because your teams, with the power in your teams, they should be doing that same process. It's just what it is. It's a huge wheel, right? Yeah, it is. The self-study is another form of a dissertation. We like to call it, it's the collaboration cycle of effective instruction.
Okay.
So
That's a great question. Thank you, Kenya.
that was an awesome question. Thank you. And as you can see, I love this stuff. So I love this stuff.
I see the question here.
So speaking to the business community, in what ways are you getting the high school students ready for the workforce?
Oh my gosh.
That's
So
a great question.
So part of this is we're seeking partnerships and we're seeking industry partners for again like job shadowing, internships, apprenticeships. We appreciate all the scholarships that we get. We have a wide-ranging career and college fair program that we host. I think the latest one was at Canyon just a few weeks ago. So we like to participate in that because kind of my wheelhouse, as you know, is the marketing. We could get this to you all too, but we have all of our career technical education, both of our industry sector. And then I just did on the Angels ad. In fact, I just played last night in Angels radio. We have 25 career pathways now. So 25. Yeah. So that, like I always say, there's something for every child if you go through Orange Unified. So, I mean, my wife and my daughter are two great examples of Orange Unified. I mean, proud graduates of Canyon High School and just have done so well in their lives. And I got a son that's out of state now, graduated from Villa Park High School, doing the same thing, just doing very well. I mean, I can't speak enough. And that's part of that story is like, it doesn't get any more powerful than when your wife or your kids have gone through this system. I mean, I can't speak highly. I mean, I didn't go through Orange Unified. I grew up in LA County, but I mean, it's just such a great thing to be able to talk about because this is my home,
It's exciting.
So, yeah.
I see one question over there.
How often do you get to say, call me when you have no class?
Few and far between. So I know my wife and I always have to chart out you talk about the Fred Kelly calendar. I think that's what my calendar looks like. But I get to, right? Yeah. Right. But, it's just really a happy time for me to be able to do it. I mean, this is, as I tell people, I don't try to be a drama king, but this is my life. This is what I've chosen to do. So I love it.
Well, that brings me to the last question I formally have for you is what drives your passion for this work and what impact do you hope it leaves on the OUSD community?
As I said, kind of with the Olympiad Games with the question, I just want to leave a meaningful impact and create these positive memories. The biggest thing are the relationships. I mean, we're all so connected in here as a family, and it's that relationship piece. I mean, there's folks in the room, Rebecca and Rick. I mean, they hadn't seen my daughter and my wife in so long, but it's like they saw each other yesterday, right? And that's the family of that Great Orange. Tita Smith, God bless her, she always said sweet, sweet orange, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the thing is that, the district is really big about the relationship piece. And so that's the impact, is the lasting impact. Yes, it's about, getting good grades and going to college or getting that career going. But the other big piece of that holds everything together is the relationship piece. And people always remember, it's how you made them feel. 100 years from now, that's what they'll remember. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to make sure everyone stays connected. I know Dr. Miller provided his information to everybody out loud, but we have some flyers over here and you guys heard that the form goes directly to Dr. Miller. Any last questions?
We will be at the 5K at Angel Stadium on June 21st too. We're bright and early.
5K.
That's a 4 a.m. call.
That's a fun one. That's a fun 5K.
So I'll be out there. They give us an opportunity. They are great. I mean, we've been marketing with them for about 7 years now, and they really provide a great opportunity for us, as a district to get the good word out. So, in fact, when you drive by the Big A between usually Thanksgiving and mid-February, you pretty much see this on the Big A. So when you drive by southbound 57 when you're sitting in that traffic, right? You'll see it. So yeah.
Might just fill it out just a hi.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Yeah. But I want to thank you
Oh, you're welcome.
for the opportunity. Thank you.
We so appreciate your taking the time. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Before
it.
I let you go, if you don't mind if I do a couple of quick announcements.
Oh, please.
Can I say quick, but there's like 20. Okay,
Absolutely.
so we have a lot of things going on, a lot of great things. So some announcements. We have a member orientation tomorrow. We have our April chamber mixer. So there's 2 in April, or 2 between now and the next eggs and issues. So we have our multi-chamber mixer on the 24th, and then we have our May mixer on Citizens Business Bank on May 22nd. Our business networking group. Okay, so who's been to B&G? A lot of you guys here. That is making a change. It doesn't change very often, but we have a couple changes that are very exciting. So that's moving to just the first Wednesdays, and it has a new exciting location. It's going to be at the Peel at Hotel Farah. So look for that. That's coming up on the first Wednesday of May. Ribbon cuttings. There are about 6. We have on the 22nd, which is today, Encore Fitness. The 24th, OC Health Wellness. The 1st of May, Grandma's House of Hope. The 9th, we have the Da Bianca Trattoria 35th anniversary. It's going to be great. And on the 15th of May, we have MSI groundbreaking. On the 16th, we have Friendly Center's Friendly Mart. And on the 21st, we have Rescued Eras. So quite a few ribbon cuttings. There's a chance for everyone to come out. If you have not had a chance to welcome a local business to Orange, you have got to get out to at least one. It is such an exciting time. Networking. We have our Business 101 on May 8th, and we have a Happy Mob on May 14th. Foundation events. We have bingo also at Green Chick on May 14th. Who's been to bingo for a foundation event? Have any of you guys won? Anybody? Oh, you won, Adam? Okay, that's exciting. I want to come and beat you this time. I love bingo. Our next eggs and issues. So that's another change. I want to say thank you so much. Please, let's everybody just thank Orange Cafe and Bistro, please. Sean and Lillian aren't here today. Today we have Nina, who's been with us almost the entire time as well that we've hosted here at Orange Cafe for Eggs and Issues. It's been, I believe, over a year. We're going to be moving to a new location. We typically move every 6 months, but when we love a place, we really kind of dive in. So we've loved it here so much, but it's time for us to move over. We're going to be at the Hotel Farah starting in May. So that's going to be on May 27th. We will have guest host Mark Hilbert from the Hilbert Museum. So we're looking forward to speaking with Mark. One last thing is make sure you follow us on social media to stay in the loop. We have our chamber travels is going to Egypt next March, so look for information on that. A save the date. We have our board installation and gala and awards. It's going to be on July 17th, so invites have not gone out, but please mark your calendars for that. It'll be in the evening. It'll also be at Hotel Farah, correct? Again, special thanks to Orange Cafe for the breakfast this morning. A special thank you to our chairman, circle sponsors, our board of directors, our members, and our staff. We can't do any of this without those of you who show up, who join us on live, who come see us every single month in all these events.
That's right.
Dr. Miller,
Thank
Ken,
you.
thank you so much
Thank
again.
you so much, Brittany.
You'll have some
Thank
time
you.
to network, and we'll see you
Thank
guys all next
Thank
month.
you. And go to orangeusd.org/learn more. Thank you so much. Thank you again. It's awesome. This is great. Thank you. Appreciate you.